The God-Forgotten election by Henry Lawson. Pat MØDURMER brought the tidings to the town of God-Forgotten. Ḻ'There, or lively days before commin Parlymintĺs dissolved. And the boys were all excited, for the state, of course, was Ḻrotten. In subsequent elections, God-Forgotten was involved. There was little there to live for save in drinking beer and eating. But we rose on this occasion ere the news appeared in print, for the boys of God-Forgotten, at a wild, uproarious meeting, nominated Billy Blazes for the commin Parlymint. Other towns had other favorites, but the day before the battle Bushmen flocked to God-Forgotten, and the distant sheds were still. Sheep were left to go to glory and neglected. Mobs of cattle went a-straying down the river at their sweet bucolic will. William Spouter stood for Freetrade, and his votes were split by Nottin. He had influence behind him and he also had the tin, but across the lonely flatlands came the cry of God-Forgotten, vote for Blazes and protection, and the land ƴ'There living in. Pat MØDURMER said, lie. Shamers, please to shut ugly faces, lend dirty ears a moment while I give ye all a hint. Keep ye sober till tomorrow and record vote for Blazes leaf ye want to send a ringer to the commin Parlymint. Loss a young and growin' township God-Forgotten's been neglected, land, if well be represented, now's the moment to begin, lave the local towns. Encouraged, local industries protected, vote for Blazes, and protection, and the land ƴ'There living in. Don say that William Blazes is a perfect outer. Don say he have the larninal, for he never had the luck. Don say he have the logic, or the gift of gab, like Spouter. Don say he have the practice, but I say he have the pluck. Now, the country's gone to ruin, and the governments are rotten, but hell save the public credit and protect the public tin. To the everlasting glory of the name of God-Forgotten vote for Blazes and protection, and the land ƴ'There living in. Pat Meld went on the warpath, and he worked like salts and senna, for he organized committees full of energy and push. And those wild committees riding through the whiskey-fed Gehenna routed out astonished voters from their humpies in the bush. Everything on wheels was rented, and half-sobered drunks were shot in. Said MØDURMER to the driver, leaf ye want to save skin, never stop to wet whistles, drive like hell to God-Forgotten, make the villains plump for Blazes, and the land they live in. Half the local long departed, for the purpose resurrected. Plumped for Blazes and protection, and the country where they died. So he topped the poll by 60, and when Blazes was elected there was victory and triumph on the God-Forgotten side. Then the boys got up a banquet, and our chairman, Pat MØDURMER, was next day discovered sleeping in the local baker's bin. All the dough had risen round him, but we heard a smothered murmur, vote for Blazes, and protection, and the land ƴ'There living in. Now the great Sir William Blazes lives in London, cross the waters, and they say his city mansion is the swellest in West End, but I very often wonder if his Tory sons and daughters ever heard of Billy Blazes, who was once the people friend. Does his beost memory linger round that wild electioneering when the men of God-Forgotten stuck to him through thick and thin? Does he ever, in his dreaming, hear the cry above the cheering, vote for Blazes and protection, and the land ƴ'There living in? The bush was grand in those days, and the western boys were daisies, and their scheming and their dodging would outdo the wildest print. Still my recollection lingers round the time when Billy Blazes was returned by God-Forgotten to the commin Parlymintl. Still I keep a sign of canvas, 'twas a maid of mine that made it, and its paint is cracked and powdered, and its threads are bare and thin, yet upon its grimy surface you can read in letters faded, vote for Blazes and protection, and the land ƴ'There living in.